Shut up and sit down.
Oh man, everybody, we are back in your ears tonight. Woo, woo, woo. It's 167 of third shift. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, we're in your ears tonight. Woo, woo, woo. Hope you're having fun. It's gonna be a great night here at third shift. I'm Eric B. I'm coming at you all in 2D. Oh yeah, and with me today is Mr. Matt.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm coming at you in 2D in your ears. This is the wrong sensory organ. It doesn't work. It's fine.
So there you go. It's another glorious episode of Third Shift. I am Mr. Eric, the light bearer. With me today is the inglorious bastard himself, Mr. Matt. And we've got another wonderful episode for you today. So without further ado, I would say, hey, Matt, how was your week?
Oh, my week was okay, I guess. Like, it's another week when I don't really remember what I did. Like, I know we did one thing, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I'm like, man, what else did I do? Did I do nothing over the weekend? And I think I did nothing.
Wow.
And then did I do anything during the week? I'm pretty sure I did absolutely nothing. So the only things I could think of to talk about other than the thing is Video Game World, where I played Yakuza 3 Remastered for, I think, one stream over this past week, and it makes me happy and it makes me smile every time. Every time I open up the map and I go, is it time for a story mission? And I see that question mark and I go, no, it's not. And I run over there. Or I do so many sub-stories that I forget what one of the sub-stories, it's not marked, is even for. Like there was one where it's like, hey, go to this bar and I'll meet you there. I'm like, okay, cool. And then got distracted by like 15 other sub-stories. And I went, I still got to go to Shellac. What's that for? Stroll in. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, okay, I kind of vaguely remember this guy. Go over here. Do. So it's fun. It's great. Hitting men with bicycles, it's the best.
I agree. I do agree.
And then the other game I've been playing this week, Fire Pro Wrestling World, because it was so fun because it's like I've said before, it's got like a story mode. You go in and you join a different faction in New Japan and you wrestle your way to the top or whatever. You go through like a year's worth of, the storylines from the past couple of years. And I didn't know at first. Like I think when you do it the first time, it just throws you into a faction at random. So I beat that storyline, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll start a new character, just goof around. And it takes you to a point where it says, hey, which faction do you want to join? And I went, oh, I had no idea. I figured it was just one fixed story. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to join Suzuki-gun, the evil heel faction led by Minoru Suzuki, who is like the devil incarnate.
Beautiful.
Join that up, and the whole storyline is about New Japan doesn't care about you because you're a crappy wrestler. So he takes you in, and your whole goal as the group is just to ruin everything. Make everybody's day horrible. If it's, oh man, it's Makabe's, 20th year in wrestling. Oh, so let's just beat the shit out of him at the end of the show and make everybody mad. Let's screw up everybody's plans. And I tweeted out a screenshot of it. It's like, oh, I've burned away the former me, and I've ripped away my conscience, and I've become a pure being of evil, bent on just having my revenge on New Japan. I'm like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is the wrestling storyline I want. I want to be an embodiment of pure chaos and evil and just ruin everything. It was so good. But then, like I told you off air, whenever I play it, I have a lot of fun playing it, and the way you can create matches and get match rankings up based on making a good professional wrestling match. But I found out that if you do that throughout the story mode, you will get a shot at the higher titles as you get to the end. But having a big, long match that's back and forth and has all the action in it you need, it takes like 15 to 30 minutes every time. So now I'm just slogging my way through another one of those scenarios, and I'm having a blast. But at the same time, it's like I have to manage it so I don't lose every time, because now you're taking both wrestlers to the brink, and I don't know. It's a ton of fun, and I'm still loving it. But it's stressful.
Yeah, it's strategy,
sweating.
thinking about it, having to really pan it out.
Every time they're grabbing a hold, I'm like mashing all the buttons. I don't even know if it does anything, but I'm like, no, don't tap out. No, kick out. Okay, God. Hit him with like 3 finishers. Okay. It's still only 10 minutes in though. Oh, God. I don't know. Bail outside the ring. Run around for a while. I don't know what to do.
Whatever.
Exactly. But that's been a ton of fun. And I think that's all I've been playing on the video game front. I'm going to get something tomorrow that I'm going to be playing the crap out of, and I'm going to talk about it next week, and I'm very excited for that. But until that point, hey, Eric, how was your week?
Well, last week we recorded on Wednesday, in case y'all didn't know, because Thursday was Halloween. And what kind of a parent would I be if we didn't go trick-or-treating? So, of course, we got out there. We took the kids out to the trick-or-treats. However, if you live in Michigan, well, it's about that snow time. You never know what you're going to get. Sure enough, it was blizzard time. Freaking snow was going crazy, and it was that nice, thick, wet, plushy snow. So it was just like blowing at 70 miles per hour, hitting your face, and it had been rain like an hour before that, and then it turned into this plush snow. So 45 minutes, and we're just completely drenched in snow, rain, muck, trudging along with our candy bags. Just sitting.
Now, see, wait a minute. I will allow you we were completely drenched. It was not 70-mile-an-hour winds with giant snowflakes of doom. It was like
Charlotte. It was
like a drizzle. It was like a drizzly snow. You didn't have
Oh no, in Charlotte, dude, it was flying. That snow was whipping. I'm talking crazy winds into our face. We had to turn around and do the walking backwards thing down the street to get back up to the cars. We actually had to have one of the mothers go get the vehicle, drive down to get the kids because they couldn't do it. It was too much. And so they threw the kids in the trunk of this car and drove back up, and me and Brent had to walk all the way back up ourselves, completely drenched in this dang snow muck crap. Yeah, it was terrible out here, dude. All for some candy.
So two things. You're always trying to get me to go live out there. No, not for a kid. No way. And then the second one, I like how the kids didn't get into the car. No. They got thrown in the trunk of the car. So there's plenty of room for the adults, but we still had to walk back anyway.
Because he moved the seats down in the minivan. So there were no seats anymore, because his plan all along was to initially let the car drive with us, and the kids were just going to go door to door if it was too bad and nasty out. But instead, it was good enough. Like, it began all right. It was fine. It was just, like you said, it was a light drizzle of snow. Whatever, no big deal. It wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. But, after about 25 minutes, all of a sudden, it went to frickin' blizzard status over here. So we wanted to finish the one side street we were going, but it was kind of, veering back up the way we'd come. And, of course, that's the frickin' way the wind went. And it got, like I said, it got too bad. So we get the car, and then it was all still propped down for if they were just going to hop in and out. So there were no seats in the back. There was the passenger seat up front and then the driver's seat. That was the only seats available. Because the way his van is, he can put the whole thing down into this just long bed, basically, like a truck would have almost. Yeah. It's crazy. And sure, I mean, maybe we could have jumped in there somehow, but if you don't know, I'm immobile. I don't bend. I don't move real well. And if you don't know, Brent is also immobile. He cannot move or bend or do anything.
Well, now wait. See, I got the solution for you. Too bad I wasn't there. It's a big giant bed in the back, right? You open up the 2 back doors and you just plank yourselves right in there. Human
just
torpedo.
Narwhal my way in.
Hell yeah. That's how you do it.
So we did all this for the children. We get back. They're happy. They had a great time regardless of the snow and freezing winds and all the other good stuff. Mm-hmm. Got the candy, did the things, had the pizzas, blah, blah, blah. Ta-da! Another year of candy time. Now, what also happened is I got sick. Yay for me. I got a cold. Whatever. It lasted 2 days. It was a pitiful cold. It was weak. Had nothing. Got over that. And then I said, man, I'm in a funk, and I'm getting out of this funk. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a cool thing, which we're going to talk about. And then I'm going to do another cool thing, which...
Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
I didn't, man, okay? Because it was kind of the catalyst. It got everything going and moving. So we played some Wolfenstein Youngblood this weekend.
Yes.
And we drank beers and we laughed and we got our cosplay ideas going for next year. We decided many things, had a lot of beers, and we beat the game.
Yes.
Oh, it felt good. Just felt good. That last boss was ridiculous. Annoying as hell. But I think we got him the second try, wasn't it?
It was about
Was it third try? Okay, third try we got him.
Yeah, because the second try I was like, I'm running out of ammo. Third try I had no.
Yeah, that's
ammo.
right. Yes, it was the third try. We were in there with no ammo, just running from gun to gun, whatever just dropped. That's what we were using. It was great. But we did it. We beat Wolfenstein Youngblood, and that got the blood flowing. That got me going, yes, I knew we could do it. And I'd already talked about this plan, which was to start beating games and getting things done.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we did it. We beat that one, and that really made me go, ooh, it tastes like good. That tastes like victory right there. So I put Control in. I said, I don't care about any of my other games right now. Y'all can just go burn in a fire for right now. Put Control in. Been playing that straight a few days. Guess what? I beat it. Oh, man, so good. Beat Control.
You did not. No
Beat
way.
Control. Fantastic game. Beat it. Awesome.
I see what's happening, Eric. No, wait. No, you did beat it.
I did.
That's
yeah,
right.
Control's beat.
You just got to go back and do
I
the
just said
extras.
I want to
Okay.
platinum it. So there's a couple.
I'm getting the
okay,
stories
there's a couple
crossed.
random things
I'm
to do. It's all right. It's all right. And then today, I'm sitting there at work. I'm all done with my job. I'm sitting there like, man, I'm going to do my things. I put out Persona 4 Gold. Tickety clackety clackety clacky. Now, this one's not a full finish. I beat the game, but I didn't beat the game because Persona 4 Golden has an extra dungeon and an epilogue. So I have beaten everything but the extra dungeon and epilogue. I got to that part. So I can sort of say I have beat it, but I haven't beat it to my liking. So I'm going to do the whole thing.
What you can say is you beat Persona 4,
Yes.
but you haven't beaten
Persona 4
Persona 4 Golden
yes.
yet. Nice.
So hopefully tomorrow, which I doubt because I hear that this Hollow Forest or whatever dungeon is actually very difficult.
Well,
Oh, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm
no
just
spoilers.
saying.
No spoilers. You told me what the name was. Oh God!
I hear it's difficult. That's all. I hear it's hard and annoying. So we'll find out. I'm pretty powerful, so I don't foresee me having any issues. Considering I beat the last boss just like by sleeping and pushing the button and talking with a fellow employee while I was doing it. So I was just like, haha, yeah, well, pushed my buttons and then I won because it was that easy. So I have a feeling it's not going to be as hard as what some people claim it to be just because I found the perfect combos and personas to make myself stupidly OP. And it's great.
Yeah.
So I feel good. I'm on a roll right now. I'm smooth. I'm grooving. I'm having a great time. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm putting some of these games to rest. And that's been my week.
Yeah.
That's what I've done this week thus far. But we're not done yet because we did more. Oh boy, yeah, we did.
That's right. That was us individually this week. Together as a team this week. No IG2G. No nothing. No Talented Tuesday. No nothing like that. But together as a team, you and I, the one team, the dream team, we went to Youmacon in Detroit, which was a full 3 days and like a partial other day anime convention festival, guests and panels and autograph signings and vendor booths all lining up through the whole place. Oh man, it was a great time. I had a great time. I don't know about you.
Just miserable.
Oh man, I hate geek culture and cool things and seeing people that we know. Oh man.
So, as I'm sure you guys can probably guess, this is the bulk of the show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Youmacon, I don't care, whatever you want to call it, 2019, all right? So, we're going to go way back here. We're going to tell a little story. We got together and we said, well, do we want to do this thing? You know what? We do. We really do. And then Jim Ferronda was going to be there. John St. John was going to be there. Damian Clark?
Clark
was going to be there. And honestly, I didn't know it was Syrian, right? Syrian? I don't know what's
I think it's like Kieran.
Gotcha. They were also there, and I had no idea. I didn't know. Because Jim had referenced the fact that a whole bunch of them were going to be there, and I was like, huh? What? So
Yeah, I thought it was two.
So it was pretty freaking cool. Now, before all that just got us pumped up, and we decided we're for sure going to go to this. We have to. This is going to be great. This is going to be awesome. Sweet. Done deal. And then we look and we're like, oh, single day tickets can only be bought while you're there. Well, we don't like that. Me and Matt, we don't stand in lines. We don't like screwing around with this kind of stuff. That's not our style. Well, you can buy a 3-day pass online and avoid the lines. Buy the 3-day pass, avoid the lines. That's what it said on the thing. It said avoid the lines, buy the 3-day pass. That's the ticket. It's only like $15, $20 more. Whatever. Don't care. Gonna buy it. So,
and like you said, I don't stand in line. I don't pay at the door. If I can buy anything online, that's just what I'm going to do. So even if we were going to be there for 15 minutes, I was just going to buy the 3-day pass. So I can just be like, look, I'm in.
Let me in. Let's go.
Here it is. I got it.
Exactly. This was the purpose. This was the plan. So we drove boom, ba-doom, doom, doom, all the way to Detroit. Fantastic drive. Easy peasy. Felt like we were in the car for 10 minutes. No problem.
It was a lot better than it has been.
Yeah, it really was. No big jams. It was awesome. So no one cares about that part, though. We get there. We park. We go in. Line. There's a line. I'm talking. The second we entered, there was a line wrapping around the little stairwell and then going down the whole center, the Cabo Center. Like, okay, well, there's the line for all these. And we're, of course, we're making note. Man, what are all these doofuses doing? Why would you all come the day of like that? And then stand in this crazy line. Oh, man. So we're like.
And even past that, I was thinking, what is this line for? This can't be for just the single day get-in pass. Because it is, from what you see, it's like 100 yards long at least.
Oh, at least.
I'm like, wow, this is ridiculous. And little did I know, but we'll get into that.
So we skipped this line. We're like, well, first off, we both got to use the restroom. We just did the little drive to get here. So we find the restroom real quick. We know where it's at. We've just been here for the previous Comic-Con. Went to the restrooms. Then we started walking. We're like, all right, well, where are we going to go in this time? What are we going to do? What should we do? I don't know. You think this is a line that we're going to? This is a line? No, there's nowhere. So we don't have to stand in line, Matt. We don't have to. It's fine. Yeah. Well,
here's the doors to the vendor room. Here it is right
this
here.
Is it.
Oh.
Let's ask somebody, Matt. Oh, I guess. Okay, let's figure this out. Hey, you, lady, helpful lady who works here.
Who's right at the door here?
Right at the door. Hey, we bought the online 3-day pass things. Do you know where we got to go?
Here's literally what it is. It says 3-day pass.
And she goes, oh, I'm afraid you're going to have to get in the line. But guess what? When it gets to the entrance of the area, it's going to split. And then it'll be real fast for you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys understand logic, but there's a single file line that spans 100 plus yards. Easy. I'm talking, actually, it's probably like a football field long, maybe longer.
That's 100 yards.
I would say longer. So probably a football.
Well, eventually it was longer. What you could see was 100 yards.
There you go. That's what I'm kind of looking for. You can see 100 yards of this thing. Easy. And that's what we thought maybe it was. That was wrong, though. There was much, much more to this, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And she says, you got to stand in line, but at the split, it'll get much easier. Now, if I got to stand in a line with 100 yards worth of humans in a single file, I'm still standing in line with all these people forever. That's the way this goes. Yeah. It's no faster. It's not faster. Okay? So, now, at the time, I was angry. I was still angry.
Yeah.
What she said, there was a little bit of sense to it because of what we saw later. But we'll get to that.
Well, and what we should have done is taken that, when it gets to the split, it'll go fast. We should have investigated the split.
We should have. If we had
gone, okay.
What split is she talking about? And then if we'd have walked forward and found it, we would have then been enlightened. However, it didn't happen. We resigned ourselves to being screwed because we're screwed a lot in life. I'm not trying to be all, oh, woe is me. That's just the truth. So,
and I thought when we got to the back of the line, maybe this line is so long just because doors aren't open yet for some reason. Like once the registration line's open, it'll go
start flying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go back to this line. We go to the very end. And we get in it. And then all of a sudden it does move. It moves quite a bit for a few seconds.
It starts moving a little bit.
Like, okay, whatever. We're frustrated. We're grumpy. We're complaining. But we're moving, and then it stops. And then we realize this is a real line. Here we are. And we start slowly inching forward, and time starts going by.
Start doing a little penguin shuffle, just every few minutes. Oh, 10 more feet.
And we're just at this point like, bro, this is ridiculous, dude. And we're talking to each other. Wow, they're calling Youmacon, getting some money back, which, by the way, I still got to do. You know, it said buy 3-day pass, avoid the line. That was the tagline. What is going on? This is a completely ridiculousness. And then we met a man.
We sure did.
We met a man. All right.
Now, see, I got to frame this correctly.
All right.
We're standing in line. There were lots of people in costume all through the line. Anime characters,
Fantastic.
people from movies, people from TV shows, all dressed up, decked to the nines. And then we saw this man, and he was walking back through the line. And we're like, oh, who's... And I went to myself, who's this character? He's kind of scraggly. He's kind of unkempt. And he's got a blanket around himself. Like, what kind of character could this guy be? What? And then we found out what character he was dressed up as, didn't we?
We did. It's called Piss Joe. Piss Joe the hobo. Okay? We met Piss Joe the hobo. Famous. If you guys don't know him, look him up. Famous. For his
I'm sure if you walk around your town long enough, you will find
this man. You will smell this man. All right? He was there being a predator, getting all these very kind, don't want any trouble sort of folks to give him money. And they were. Yeah. And you know why? There's two reasons. First off, because most people don't like confrontation of any sort and just want people to get out of their way. So therefore, if I give you a buck, you're going to leave me alone for the rest of the time. Fantastic. The second reason was because this man smelled so horrid. I don't gag, really. I don't gag. I didn't gag this time either. But I did a couple of light coughs. And to get me to do that, it has to be bad. It has to be very bad. I have smelled death, people. I've been around dead corpses, rotting corpses. I have watched pigs eat human bodies and stood there. Okay? So you have to understand in what the frame I'm coming from here. This man was bad. And I did the... Oh, God.
Believe me when I tell you, he smelled unbelievable. You would not believe it. I couldn't believe it at the time. I've smelled horrible things, and it was too much on every front.
It was. The smells, it was just combined into such a pungent just punch. It was just, and it didn't go away. That was the part that bothered me.
He did.
He went away.
But it didn't.
Yeah. So, to get back to the story, he's coming down this line. And I look at Matt and I go, tell me why I'm in this line, Matt. And why do I now have to confront this man and tell him, no, he's not getting money? I said, I hope he just realizes he's getting nothing from us and leaves us alone. Yeah. Now, thank goodness, one thing happened. He did that. He got close, and his blanket touched my leg, touched my left leg, scrapped it. And he looked at me and he said, I ain't even gonna ask, yo. And he whispered that. So apparently he understood. There was a look in their eyes, something, whatever it was.
It was the dead eyes and just the tight clenched jaw. And then for me, it was the mouth half open to breathe through. Because I wasn't going to breathe through my nose. It's just going.
So we got away from it. I didn't have to tell him no. He just walked away, and he kept going. And then I said, "Thank goodness it's gone." But it wasn't gone. That smell was there. It was like 5 to 6 minutes of this just smell.
And it's not like he was like right behind us. He went, and he didn't stop for a while. Because I didn't look for him, but I turned and looked at you, and he was out of the periphery. So he was well away. I don't know what happened.
And how.
I don't know.
And now I'll say this as a quick side note. When he was still farther up, I watched this girl all decked out in some really cool, cosplay. I don't remember what it was anymore, but she was running up to hurry up and get going with whatever she was up to. And she got up to him, and she didn't really recognize him. I think she just thought he was some cosplayer doing something. She, basically bumped into him.
Oh.
And then she kind of stopped, and he started moving again. And then she like she was stunned, like she ran the deer in the headlights kind of thing. It was just like, and she kind of stood there for a minute and did like a wobble, and then she just beelined and took off. And I was just in my head, just dying, going, her life just got ruined for a minute. Just boom, the smell of every bad thing in the world. Oh, and she probably thought at first, "Is this what the con smells like?" Because you couldn't imagine. Yeah, you've always heard the rumors about getting these cons and then these expos, and it's just nothing but stinky geek sweat and just disgustingness. Because there's just that stigma, which is partially true that a lot of nerds, geeks, just don't properly take care of themselves, and so they start to smell bad. I wonder if this young girl thought that was the case, and at what point she realized. How far did she have to run before she realized she was okay? I'll never know, because I didn't want to get out of the stupid lie. I'll never know.
No, I will say, if I said it as a joke earlier, thinking he was a character, but there was a dude we saw who basically wore a quilt around him as a costume. It was the Kamoshida.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was nicely done up, like
in his royal,
a nice pink
his royal robe or whatever cape.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it looked like a man with a quilt around his shoulders, which is what Piss Joe was.
Yep.
So
Yep. And then Piss Joe rode away on his bicycle with his his blanket flapping, and we both, of course, later said, I was watching Piss Joe as he rode his bike away. I was too. I was hoping his blanket was going to get stuck in the spokes, and we were going to watch a glorious flip. It didn't happen. Piss Joe's a pro, everybody. This man's been hoboing it longer than you can probably imagine. He's done more and seen more.
Speaking of being a pro, this guy knows. He came through. He did one pass through the line. He got his profits. He left on his bike, and then we saw him again.
Yes.
Not 15 minutes later. So he left, and everyone went, "Oh, okay, phew," and then he immediately returned. Yeah. And we went, where did you go?
Long enough to make sure, because by this time, like I said, it's been 15, 20 minutes. We'd gotten farther in the line. Still,
line had shuffled up maybe like 50
enough
yards,
to where
at least halfway.
There was going to be a whole new slew of people behind us. Mm-hmm. So he was just running that bracket, doing it over and over again, looking like he was a fresh hobo coming in, asking for help over and over again. He probably did this all day. Because guess what, folks? That line was there all day to different degrees. Day. Sometimes it was out the door. Sometimes it was half of what that was. But all day long, that line stayed. Mm-hmm. So we got to see one more rotation of Piss Joe. All right? Nothing too eventful happened beyond that. Except for a guy came through and he said, "5 online pass upon me." And I went,
yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
I think he said, "If you got online passes, follow me." And Matt went, "I don't know, dude. I didn't hear that. I don't know. I didn't hear none of that." And I went, "I didn't hear a lot of it either."
I just heard him. Also, don't give me the Bob voice. Don't you dare do that. I heard Bob in there. You're just trying to do that because I wasn't sure in the moment what to do.
And I said, "Matt, let's just follow this dude. Come on, let's do it. You want to do it?" "I don't know, man. Let's just do it." I think he said, "Let's go follow him." "Okay, man." Because
at this point, we'd been in line for what, 30 minutes?
I'd say a little bit longer, almost 40. Yeah, 40 minutes.
40 minutes. It had moved 50 yards. And the last thing I wanted to do was, if we had to stay in the line, was get out and then go back and repeat the process again. So that's why I was like, well, I didn't really hear it. I don't know. And you were like, "Let's just go." And I went, nobody's going to, if we're going to find these Jurassic Park guys, they're not going to be like, "Why, these guys were in back of us," because we would have left. And I went, I don't know.
Spoiler alert, 2 things. First off, Eric would have not gone back to that bag. Eric would have gone back to the Jurassic Park hat, man. And I'd have been like, "We need our spot back. You understand? You what happened was this. I need my spot back." Uh-huh. And then I would have just stood in the spot. And then I would have forced the people to either just go with it, or B, they would have had to confront me and be willing to fight. So I was like,
and see, the one thing I was going to say is, why don't you go? If it's good, text me. And I should have just said it. I mean, we should have done what we did do, which is great. So
yes.
At the end, it wouldn't matter.
It worked out.
But in the moment, I should have been like, "Just go." And I'll hold the spot.
It almost ended bad, though, because we tried to follow this gentleman.
Yes.
But we lost him. So many people, so many things, lots of doors and hallways.
he was like Speedwalker
he was
Jones
flying.
as well. Like inside of 15 seconds, he was gone.
So we're looking around. I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to get angry now because I can't find him. I don't know where he went. I'm like, oh man, I gotta do Plan B. Go back and tell these people I'm getting back in line, and then maybe see how it goes.
But the worst part was we took a turn because the line took a turn, and then we saw like 200 yards more line and no man, and he was gone.
Yes, it was terrifying. It really was. I was like, this is the worst. This is the worst right now. Thankfully, he appeared. Boom, he's coming back. And I went, you, gentlemen, I heard you say words, and I think you said something about online pass. I sure did, boys. Hey, you follow me.
Come with me right now. Let's go.
He took us to the appropriate area. And now what this lady, long time ago, mind you, this is almost 45, 50 minutes ago at this point, had said, when you get to the split, it's going to go a lot faster for you. And this is where it made sense. Because not only was there 200 yards more of line out here in the hallways, but then we went to these doorways. And there was this big thing that said registration, will call, and something else. I don't remember what it was.
It was registration with card, registration cash only,
and then will call. And so...
And there were two, like, cash and credit lines. So it split into, like, a freaking octopus of lines.
It did. And I still don't understand what he said, so he kind of stood in this weird line in, like, the far to the left, and then this gentleman looked at us like weird, and he walked up and went, you guys, what you got? Oh, online passes right here. 3. Your will call. And, of course, he said it like we're idiots, which we were, because at that point we're kind of like, I don't know, man. There's just all these lines and things happening.
But literally anything I've ever bought that says go to will call says it on your ticket. It says pick up at will call, go to will call, will call, anything that says will call. Ours said online registration, 3-day pass. That doesn't say will call.
Nope, sure doesn't.
None of the instructions said go to will call. It said print this out and take it.
That's all it said. And so he says go to will call. Now, here's where the split all made sense. Will call's line was a straight line all the way up to the registration booths. Not a soul was in it.
And it was about another like 50 yards of in this octopus of lines. Every single line was filled with humans. Will call had, from what you could see from the end, 0 humans.
Yep. So we would have had to stand through another 200 yards, and then this octopus line going all the way up to the registration booths to get in. And if we hadn't had that gentleman come up and go, property, more they have to get online, if that had not happened, we would have probably been in line for 2.5 hours or so.
At the very least.
Yeah, at the very least. And that would have ruined my day. That would have destroyed any happiness I could have had that day. So I'm very thankful that that moment came and saved us from that fate. Because then we beelined it straight up through will call. Like I said, got all the way up there. There was literally one human with their daughter or something like that about to go up and do the cash thing and pay and go in. So we waited for half a second. It was like half a second. And then boom, in. And away we went. All that drama, meeting Piss Joe, all the things, craziness, insanity.
And I will say, that wasn't even it for me. Like, well, it sounds like the happy ending right there. No, that's when I started getting mad. Like I was ticked off waiting in the line. But I went, this is what we got to do. Once I had my thing in my hand and we were going to the vendor hall and I got in, that's when for some reason I was like, that's when I was like, all right, there better be something good in here because I'm really steamed right now. Just the whole walk from I have my badge back all the way, looking at all these faces, seeing that the Jurassic Park guys hadn't even made it to the bend yet. Oh, man. Oh, God.
All because of misinformation. Gosh. It's terrible. It's terrible.
And there was also no signage until the split. It didn't even say, like, registration this way.
Will call here, this or that.
It's just line of humans. Here you go.
It should have been very big with huge letters like online 3-day pass here, da-da-da-da. You know, it should have been mapped out once you walked in from any of the main entrance or that side entrance, something you should have done. So I will state once I call Youmacon and talk with them that going forward, it'd probably be a good idea to have that kind of information there. I mean, for those of you who've gone before, sure, you're going to know, and it's no big deal. But if you've never done anything like this before...
Or, for God's sakes, put it on your website.
No, that's
Here's
true.
the map. Here's will call. And then what will call with
and
an
you'll
asterisk.
go to will call.
It goes down and says, asterisk, this is where the online 3-day pass people pick up their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I know.
Wonderful.
Instead, I go on the website and I go, what's anywhere? I can find the guests, and that's about it. Cool.
Exactly. So that all happened. Got done with it. We said, all right, let's start this off. You know what? Let's bring it back. So we went in there and we got to the vendor area, and it was awesome. Tons of fun. So many cool things.
It was great.
Yes.
I mean, just that growing up with, I mean, not growing up with anime, but growing up with anime, that's what I did. So anytime I see anime DVDs and see these old series, it just puts me back in that high school days of just like, man, this is home right here. Looking at those big racks of, mangas and anime DVDs and everything, seeing all my geeky characters everywhere. I'm just like, yeah, this is cool. And I mellowed out real quick, but it was just that spike of just, and then okay, I made it. Everything's cool.
Mm-hmm. And for me, all the beautiful anime body pillows and titty mouse pads and stuff.
The boob mouse pads, yeah,
they're so great. I wanted to buy every last one of them. Just so I could just get a rise out of the wife and have fun with it. The humor in it all, I love. And if you like getting that stuff, that's awesome. I mean, if I was a single man, hell yeah, man, I'd totally have me some really cool stuff like that. But obviously, that's not there nor here. But it's cool to see it, to be in an environment where you're like, oh my God, they got a whole vendor with, all they had was body pillows, like all the different anime characters you could ever imagine, just all up on display, males, females, everything, all there for you to buy and purchase at your leisure. I was like, wow, man, so cool. Look at all this cool stuff. And then, like you said, seeing all the different artwork for the different animes that I've watched, and oh my God, I want this poster. Oh, let's look at this hand-drawn interpretation of da-da-da-da. It's so great. Not be able to buy any of it, but yeah.
I mean, some of the coolest stuff was, you see anime figurines online and you're like, oh, it looks really neat. But when you go to a booth that has like 50 to 60 to 100 of them all laid out, you can see it in real life and see how cool it is. Like there was that one that had all the wood burned like wanted posters, and then they had all these Dragon Ball figures lined up with all the flashy colors and just looking super action poses and stuff. It was like, man, I'm not super into Dragon Ball. I was into Z for a while, but it's like, just seeing all these things that you don't ever see anywhere else. Like in the city, where are you going to see that? Nowhere. Literally nowhere. And then you walk into a city of anime culture. It was awesome. It was great. I was at home. It was great. It was awesome. No matter how geeky and weird I could be, I was right at home. You walked into a city full of geek culture and geek
everything
things.
You can imagine, video game, anime wise, at some point you could find something there that you liked. And like you said, yes, walking into this whole city, this whole town, this whole area just full of it. Every booth was like, ooh, I want to see that. I want to see that. Ooh, I'd like to look at that. I will say this. I wanted to spend a lot more time with like the artwork and stuff, but I always feel really awkward. And now I've only done these two times now, so maybe that passes the more you go and get used to that kind of environment and how that all works. But the artwork was amazing. Some of these artists are phenomenal, had great stuff. But when we went to the booths, it was literally just like would be me and you and the artist. And I didn't want to like stand there looking at their artwork because unfortunately, folks, I can't buy any of it. I don't have the means to purchase like this art, which I'd love to. I just don't have the means to. So all I can do is admire it and move on. And I felt real awkward, like stopping and actually looking at it, because then you'd engage the artist and say, hello, how are you doing? Oh, you like anything? How are you doing? Da, da, da. And you're just like, yeah, I think that's awesome, but I have zero intention to buy it. I can't buy it. It's not going to happen. So even though I enjoy your stuff,
farmer's market feel.
I can't help you or support you in any way, unfortunately.
I think what we got to do, and this holds true for not only the art booths, but for all the merchandise booths, we got to not walk through it like a farmer's market. We got to like stop and look at what's there. Because we walked through that room like 4 or 5 times total throughout the day. And at booths we had already seen and already picked out like a thing that we wanted from there, you and I both went, oh man, look at that thing I never saw before at this booth we passed 4 times. So I think we got to like settle in and be like, all right, it's like you're moving from store to store and just stop and look and, okay, this is cool. That's cool. Now I know everything that's here and move on to the next one. Regardless of whether it's just us and the artist, who cares? We got to look and we got to stop and look.
That's right.
That's what we got to do.
I agree. We do got to stop just screwing around and being awkward or feeling weird or silly.
And feeling like, oh man, I really want to stop at this one, but I don't think Eric does. So I'm just going to kind of keep walking and like maybe look. And if he wants to stop, we will. And
yeah, because it's the same way for me. I kind of want to look at this, but I don't want to like hold Matt up and look at this dumb thing that he probably doesn't give 2 poops about. So I'll just kind of look at it slow and walk slower as I walk by. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Whatever. I saw it.
No, we got to treat it like shops in a street in the city. Mm-hmm. You're going to go to this store. You're going to see what's all there.
Yep.
And then you're going to go to the next one.
Or
we just, hey, we got 45 minutes until the next thing. Fucking woohoo, do whatever.
Yep. Go wild.
We'll convene over there.
Mm-hmm. And that's another way I could possibly maybe do like one sweep through us just hanging out with each other, doing the thing, and then go, all right, we got an extra hour. Go wild, man. Meet up here an hour. We'll go get some lunch. Do what we do.
Yeah.
That way we can both go back to wherever we want and stand there like idiots and stare at the things for weird amounts of time. Yeah. And be slow and stupid about it. So I agree. It's something to work on, but we're both fresh to the con thing and doing that expos cons, that kind of stuff. I think it'll come with the more we do them, which is funny because I didn't really ever have an intention to do a bunch of this stuff. But now that I've gotten to a couple, I'm like, yeah, that's fun, man. I want to go to more cons. It's cool, man. So I'm hoping that Michigan, obviously we'll go to Youmacon next year and Comic-Con again, but I'm hoping, we start seeing more bigger ones too come. Well, Youmacon's huge, but you know what I mean. More of them come along.
Well, there's that one in Grand Rapids we got the little flyers for when we were at the Michigan Comic-Con.
Yep.
That one seemed bigger because they had a whole big list of guests.
And that one would be one to check out because Grand Rapids is Michigan's hub. You'd think it'd be Detroit, but Grand Rapids is pretty much the biggest, and then Detroit, and then it doesn't matter.
Grand Rapids is like the cool stuff hub.
Yeah.
Detroit is like the actual hub. But if you want cool stuff and neat stuff and not
crazy Detroit.
I'm not gonna say it. And not feeling like not
crazy.
Having to worry like you're gonna get stabbed on the street by a crazy person. Not that you do.
Not that you ever do. No. Been there a million times. It hasn't happened yet. Not to say it could never happen, but you know what I mean.
Piss Joe will find
He's going to
hear this episode.
Piss Joe the hobo.
And he's going to find us.
I can't wait. I'll have him on the show.
Get you with a stinky skin.
Come on third shift, Piss Joe. Now that you're on the the old Discord, I don't have to smell it. It's fantastic. Tell us your story. How'd you become a hobo? Why do you stay a hobo? What's up? Let us know. And anybody out there who's like the hobo advocates and stuff, we're not mocking hobos, but we have a lot of them around here, and a lot of them are by choice a hobo. I used to do the Adopt a River thing with Boy Scouts every year for frickin' like 9 years. And we'd go clean up the hobo little towns by the river. And I would talk to these hobos. They'd help us come clean. And they would like, I just couldn't take society anymore and I had to escape it. And so they became hobos. They didn't want to work. They didn't want to do anything. The pressure of working and living was too hard. So they decided to do drugs and drink beer and live in a tent. I don't know. Sure, are there some ones that are, disabled, handicapped, who ended up there? Yeah, sure, there are. There's always that. But no, a lot of these hobos are there because they just don't want to work. They don't want to do anything anymore. They're just done. So back on track. We're going to have to make sure we get more used to the whole con thing, go to more, have more fun, experience them all over the place. And of course, we got to get to like PAX East, start getting to the big video game actual cons and checking those out. Because that's going to be a whole new thing. And we got a tiny taste of it when we got to go into the video game section at the Youmacon.
Oh, dude. That was so good. Because walking into that room and just hearing that wall of sound, it was like walking into 2 arcades when you were a kid. It was like a full size like Aladdin's castle. You walk in and just hear nonstop sounds, video game sounds, people talking over these video game sounds. And it was just the biggest arcade you could imagine. There were Dance Dance Revolution machines, there was VR machines, there were all like rows upon rows of fighting game machines. any kind of game you could think of. There was there's some weird like tappy game that people were playing. I don't even know what that was. I wanted to look over somebody's shoulder and see what they were doing. There were like the sit down racing games. There was, it was beautiful. When I walked in there, I was happy by the time we walked in there, and it cranked me up to like ridiculous degrees. Like I felt like a little kid again, walking through an arcade and just seeing happy people playing video games, lined up to play video games. Ridiculous, awesome, great. I loved it.
I felt like a teenager again, going into that arcade hall. Freaking games everywhere, sounds, the lights, the effects going on, the smell of it. They had this huge tournament thing up in there, like where they were holding all the tournaments with the different games, the Tekkens, the Soul Caliburs, the Smash Brothers, just buzzing, beeping, blooping everywhere. And part of what Matt said was like, there was games I've never even seen before, you know, these weird games that don't typically come over this way, all going on and playing against walls. I was like, holy cow, what the hell is this even? Oh, this is awesome, cool, great. And then to get to all of it, we had to go through this cool little area where they had indie developers, you know, showcasing some of their cool little indie games, and you could sit down and play their game and have the developer talk to you and tell you what the game was all about. Stuff we've never got to experience before, and it was all right there. And of course, with Youmacon, its focus wasn't on that. You know, it's an anime convention first, but even so, they had this awesome section dedicated to that. And just getting that taste, that whiff of it like that, I was like, oh my gosh, imagine going to like a full-on gaming con where this is its life. This is the blood of it. And then there's other stuff on the side. And I was like, wow, this is crazy amazing.
Now, the one thing we didn't say about that gaming room that cheered me up and that we both said took us back to the old days is I turned to the right as we got to that main drag of it. I turned to the right to say something to you, and over your shoulder, I saw row upon row of CRTs as people were playing stuff on like, I think it was a Smash Brothers they were playing on GameCube on a bunch of CRTs, man. Big old thick, fat CRT televisions. And I went, I'm home. This is my childhood. This is my life. Look at that. Look at that. Look at him. Look at him. I was so happy to see the CRT. Oh my God.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the CRT TVs over there. It was crazy to me because like that was the last thing I expected to see. Why would you have CRT TVs for anything? And I was like, wait a minute, this is a cool little niche, the gaming convention. They're going to have these things here for people who want that experience with those particular types of TVs and the image it puts out, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, oh man, this is too cool. That would have been amazing to be able to sit down and play some of the games up on those old TVs. But alas, it's funny because we were told by Jim Fronda, spoiler alert, that we had to go in there. We had to check it out. So, of course, we've been trying to meet up with this gentleman all morning long. Wasn't working out between him doing things, us going here, us going there, and all this.
Us being stuck in a
line for 50 friggin' minutes. wasn't jiving. So we were like, all right, let's go check out that cool video game area. We went over to the video game area. We're checking out. We're having a great time. Boom. Get a DM. Jim's like, hey, I'm over here in the vendor hall. Where you guys at? What's going on? We had to bail. We didn't leave the gaming hall. We're on our way, Jim. We're going to find you. So we go. We left it. Never got back to it. Went over to the vendor hall. Did the whole, you know, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? We're looking around. We're trying to find him. Sure enough, we're detectives. We see him. We spot him.
Yeah.
Whoop. We go up. He's over here checking out some cool vendor, and we just start shadowing him for a couple vendor shops, doing the stalking.
Now you full on did. I was like, I'm not going to be this guy because he doesn't know me. I mean, he knows my face because he's been on the Discord with us. But I'm like, I don't trust that he would recognize me in a snap. So I was like, I'm just walking along, looking at my two friends over there. I'm a subtle man. You're the direct man.
Nope. I went up and stood behind him.
This is why this is the perfect team right here.
I stood behind him and just watched him and listened to him as he went through a couple booths. And then he finally got to the point where he turned sideways. And I was just like, yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You know, the real cool stalkerish weird thing you do. And he kind of turned a little bit, tried to get that side angle so he could look and see what the heck's going on and if he's being addressed or if it's somebody just talking weirdly around him. Then, of course, he sees me, he turns, oh my God! Ah! So he recognized us. I knew he would. He sat there and talked to us for over an hour and a half or so. You'd remember our faces.
True.
When you're, because if you're talking to your Discord, you're staring at someone's face for however long you're talking.
There's really nothing else to do unless you got a cat or something.
Yeah, unless you got a kitty cat.
But I will say it was totally cool to see Jim. I'm going to peel back behind the curtain. We talk about this a lot. We do a show every week. We've done it for, 2.5 years, almost 3. I don't know what the exact numbers are. We've been doing this show forever. All of our relatives, all of our friends, nobody cares. Like, hey, all we get is like, hey, how's the show going? Oh, really cool. We had this cool guest on. All right, neat. Mm-hmm. Like, all the people we know who know we do a show aren't, like, excited about it. So to see Jim and have him light up and go, oh, my God, third shift, dude, and grab us up in a big hug, to be excited to see us, two random jabronis who just do a show on Thursday nights. I mean, obviously people but nobody we know is excited about. Mm-hmm. So to see some person who we're excited to see be excited to see us, that was freaking amazing. It was a lot of fun. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, look at that. Hey, cool, yay. But no, hey, look, we do something cool that somebody else out there likes. And, we do get feedback and fun things all the time, and we understand that. But it's just one of those weird things in person to have someone come up and be like, dude, you guys rock. Oh my God, it's so great. And then this person to be so awesome, the voice of so many cool characters in anime, video games. It was like, oh, this is it right here. This is the high fives moment. Pachow, pachow.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. We got to meet him, talk to him. The only bad thing about it was that Jim was a sought-after individual. He was needed in every booth and every panel and every freaking godforsaken thing there was. So the whole time we're talking, you could tell he totally did want to hang out and just walk around and talk with us and hang out. And of course we wanted to, but you could tell he was like checking his watch every few seconds, and he's like, crap, because he'd said he'd been so busy he hadn't even got to check out any of the vendors really yet, do really anything for himself at this whole, event. And this was like a little bit of his free time before he was off to yet again another whole shindig. And so I was trying to be respectful of that, but at the same time, I also wanted to talk to him and be, like, hey, we're happy to see you and let's talk. So it's like that weird, like, I want to let him go because I don't want to like mess, he's trying to do his own thing too and have fun. But at the same time, we did say we were going to meet up, and I know he does want to talk, but it was like, oh, hey, well, no, it's cool. But okay, yeah, I understand. But I was like, oh, okay.
I didn't feel awkward at all. I thought it went fine because he was excited to see us. We were excited to see him. We were excited to talk about different things, and it felt like right as it could have gotten into the okay, so what are we gonna do? Just like walk around, hang. What's going on? It was, all right, well, we got to get rolling. And then we hit him with the, hey, can we get an autograph real quick? And it was, I thought it was perfect. I didn't feel awkward or strange at all. I had a great time seeing you, Jim. You're the man. I'm glad I got to meet you.
And see, it makes sense because I'm the man who talks. I'm the man who does all that stuff. You're the chill guy. So for you were just letting it go, seeing how it went. All right. Whereas I was like, all right, how do I direct this? How are we going to do? What kind of time do we got? Can we have like a full-on conversation? Is this going to be a mid-conversation? Is this the high and by? What are we doing here? What's going on? So I was trying to gauge it in my head and talking at the same time. And for you, it was just, whatever, man. Hi. Cool, man. It's great seeing you.
Well, I told you, my one expectation for the con was to get to see Jim and meet him in person. Anything else, whether it was hanging out or, even really getting the autographs, even though they had an autograph session. But I was like, even if all I wanted was to see him and say, hey, and have like a few minute conversation. So anything on top of that was just bonus.
Indeed.
It was all bonus.
Yeah. It went great. It was fun. It was fantastic. We got the cool autograph from Jim. He took off to go see a Borderlands photo shoot, which we ended up going to see too. Oh man, it was so good. But before we did that, John St. John happened to be at his table,
which is right around from
Jim's table. And we said, oh, we got to go say hi to John St. John. So we went up to John St. John, and I was like, oh, I got a proposition. How about you go watch Third Shift and check out some stuff? We did a whole show about you and Duke Nukem and now we can get you back at Gearbox. He was very polite, very cool, awesome guy.
Yeah.
He was listening to us, said, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to do Duke Nukem again." And we talked about Bulletstorm a little bit, and he wishes, he was talking about how he wished he could have actually been drunk to do the drunken part because he felt like it was really awkward doing it sober.
Uh-huh.
And so he said beyond that, he loved doing it too. That was his only regret.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get with him, mess with him some more, but you could totally tell he was being polite and he wanted to, of course, get to the next individual and say hello and do the whole shtick that you're supposed to do. So we went ahead and, hey, we'll get an autograph. So boom. So we got 2 autographs on the third shift posters that we brought. So we are rocking and rolling. We were hoping to go ahead and get Damian Clark's. And so after that, we went in the hallway. We were like, all right, to close today out, let's go up to that autograph line. Let's get in there. We'll go see Jim one more time. We'll see John St. John. We'll see Damien. And then I think
Kieran wasn't there. No.
No.
He had a special panel the next day, and then there was a concert that night that he was going to do.
Okay.
But when I was checking on Twitter, he was really sick that day. I guess he had a migraine and stuff, so he wasn't even on the floor or doing anything on Saturday.
Gotcha. So we wouldn't have got that anyway. But we were going to go ahead and get at least Damian Clark's and go talk to him and whatnot. However, the line was crazy long.
No, you got to say, we got upstairs and we saw, it's the second floor. There's like nobody up here. There's a little group over here in the corner. We turn the corner and there's this nice big wall with like all these beautiful windows. You can see over the river. You can see into Canada on the other side.
Flags.
And people are all hanging out on these little couches or like, sitting Indian style on the floor, and we're walking up and like, where's that ballroom that this autograph signing is supposed to be at? And you're like, this line's too long, dude. And I went, no. That's not a line. That's just humans sitting down. Because I know what lines are because we stood in one for 45 minutes. Lines are humans standing back to back going, and this was people all spread out. There was like 5 feet of space between each person. That's not a line. That's not in any line I've ever been in. Someone's right up on my front, someone's right up on my back. And then we got up to the front and went, oh, that's the ballroom. And I looked, and there's one contiguous little archipelago of humans all the way down. And someone came up and went, hey, all you people in line, make sure you're over on the wall there. And all the humans shuffled, and I went, I've had too many lines for today. We can't do it. We can't do it.
Yep. I look back and I'm just like, nope, we're missing Damien's, and that sucks.
It was another like 50 to 70 yards of human. And I went, that's too much human.
I can't do it. Especially since we got 2 of their autographs. Sure, I'd like to say hello to them again, but we've already talked to them. We've already had a conversation with them. Plus, this time we'd be in a cow farm milling. So it'd just be, hi, bye, and we were like, no. So we didn't get the 3rd autograph we were hoping to get. Sadly. But we did get 2 of them, and we had a great time. And we got to walk out of there with all the great experiences, meeting Jim, talking to John St. John, which, by the way, I will totally be contacting him. We're going to get him on the show, unless he says screw you guys, but I hope not.
And I really wish we could. I think the next time if the next time Youmacon's in town, I want to actually get, just even if it's just for myself, a room for a couple nights so I can see all the different panels. Because the one down thing about it was there were, panels for cool people and autograph signings on Saturday, but then there was also like 2 more for various people in that group on Sunday. So there was no way to get them all in one, because I don't think John had anything going on Sunday, so he was likely gone. And Kieran was only really on Sunday or Saturday night, and Jim was sort of during the daytime over here and afternoons over there. And it was, so if there was, just, hey, this weekend I'm in Detroit. Hey, whenever I want to go down, I can see them at this panel, them at that panel, hang out in the video game room at night. I think that's what I'm going to do personally, just so because it was great. I had a blast, but I would like to just have like the con lifestyle for 2 days straight of just
meander in, meander out,
whatever
see
I
what you
want to do.
See, then leave, eat some good food, get drunk that night, wander around.
Because there were all kinds of like late night events, parties, and just panels and all kinds of crazy stuff. I just feel like going down to this. What's this over here? Are you sure? I mean, I'm sure there were cosplay parties just out in
I'm sure.
even just the hotels or the bars or wherever.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be wild.
I will attempt to do that with you next year.
Okay.
We'll see, how much flack and fluff I get, but I'm going to attempt to do it. I would say I might be able to get away with one night, staying one night. I don't think I'll be able to do a whole weekend, though, 2 whole nights or something. Yeah. But I think I can get away with one night. I think I can do it. So we'll try that. We'll see how it goes.
Cool.
We'll do the 3-day pass again. We'll make it all happen again. So there you go, everybody. Boom. Youmacon, whatever you want to call it. We did it.
Youmacon.
We had a great time. It was a pleasure meeting you, Jim. Can't wait to have you on the show again. John St. John, if you're listening to this by any chance, hey, can't wait to talk to you again, too. It was great meeting you. What a great time it was. Fantastic.
And the other thing we didn't even mention, there were some cosplayers for the Michigan Comic-Con that we went to, but at Youmacon, they were all over the place.
Everywhere.
And a lot of them were absolutely fantastic. Like, there was some out-of-this-world stuff. And like I told Jim when we were talking to him, it was so cool to see, like, I like some, like, older animes and, like, niche video games. So to see tons of Danganronpa people and Persona people, like, everywhere returned, I was like, yep, you're him. Oh, there's 4 Danganronpa people all in a row right there. That's awesome. Yeah. Jim said he got a picture with Majima and Kiryu, some Yakuza cosplayers, which I never saw, sadly. It's like, all my favorite things are actually here, and actually, like, there's humans that know and like the things that I like. I can't believe it. Because literally anywhere we go, other than you and me,
nobody knows
you know that cool thing? No.
Okay, never mind.
You play any video games? No.
No.
All right.
Watch anime? No. Okay. All right.
So you, the listener, are my only other outreach. So get a hold of me. Tell me that you like the things I like. Make me feel validated. So it's not just me at the con. It's the only place I feel at home.
I saw several characters of 7 Deadly Sins. I thought that's fantastic. As you said, Persona was in there. Whole bunch a whole bunch of Demon Slayer characters and different setups for that. Yeah. Can't say it enough. The cosplay was phenomenal. It was awesome. It actually, I was telling you as we were walking, I was never to a point where I'm like, I could never do this. But as the ending of the day came, I'm like, man, that'd be so cool to cosplay something and go in there and just be a fun character and do, stupid crap.
And even we saw the range of cosplays from good to just super casual. Like I walked by some Luffy's from One Piece. There was just a dude in a little like red shirt and a straw hat. And, wasn't super involved, but he was part of it. He was there. He was doing his thing. So it's like, man, I could totally do that.
Casual
Find some
cosplay.
simple character. Yeah, throw on a trench coat and grow the hair a little long and spike it up, and I'd be Detective Gumshoe from Phoenix Wright. There we go. Boom.
Perfect. Or make bodysuits of, 2 particular characters. And
Don't spoil it. You can't, no spoilers.
It's going to be the best. I can't wait. So anyways, that was our con experience. We had a great time. That was the bulk of the show, as we told you guys. But we would be remiss if we did not give you the Gearbox news tonight. We've already run long. This is ridiculous.
Whoa. We can't skip my favorite part of the show.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Because it wouldn't be a third shift episode, even this deep in the episode, without saying we got shift codes for Gold Keys in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, so here's the rest of the form, see Hit up your preferred shift code provider, get yourselves a free loot. I had to get it in. I was sweating all the time Eric was talking about stuff. I was just like, it was like a slow trickle, and like the vein was pulsing in my temple. I was like, I gotta say it, gotta say shift code's not yet. Not yet. I can't say it.
We were supposed to do this so long ago.
Gotta say shift
code. It wasn't the proper time, Matt. It would have been an improper chopper if you had done that.
That's right.
Gotta
keep it proper.
Proper chopper up here. That's all we do. We ride around in the proper chopper. So anyways, all right. Matt got his part out. Gearbox News, guess what? They had a patch. They had the hotfixes. Woo boy, did they. Now, we had a conversation about this a long time ago because Captain Haunt was super easy and ridiculous, and we just smoked them, walk away, never dropped anything good. It was kind of weird. It was still like the event. You heard it. You already listened. Well, guess what, everybody? They went ahead and made his shield extremely much better. Muchos gracias. Yay. He's harder to beat now. You're actually going to see him go through more of his phases. And on top of it, because most of you wouldn't be saying yay right now because you don't want him to be harder, you just want to smoke him and get his loot and get out of there, they made the chances of him dropping awesome loot much higher. So along with the higher shield comes the higher loot.
And that was definitely needed for me, at least, because, well, along with another thing that we're going to talk about in half a second, I've only played it through a handful of times because it takes a long time to get in there again. More on that later in a second. But every time I went in there, that man dropped maybe a blue. I never saw a legendary from him. No, wait, that's a lie. He dropped a legendary that was super underpowered from where I was at. But it wasn't his the Necro Shocker. What's the thing called?
Fearmonger
the
or
Necro
whatever.
Tube. He never dropped the Fearmonger or any new cool stuff. It was just old stuff. So now that he can drop better loot, that's all I want. I want to get the thing.
Well,
give me the shiny things.
On top of that, though, they made him drop better loot. They increased his shields rate, blah, blah, blah. The really cool part is now when you're killing the ghosts, they drop more of the hectoplasms, so it shouldn't take as long to get from cycle to cycle to get in there and get him down.
And that's literally the reason why I've only played it a handful of times. Because it took... I mean, when you're playing in True Vault Hunter mode, in Mayhem mode, and ghosts are popping out, well, you still have a badass over here, and 3 cycles over there rushing at you, and a tank over here. Well, ghost, well, he's just going to hit me, because I can't reorient myself, because I have to start taking this stuff out. So... the fact that ghosts drop a heck of a lot more hectoplasm, especially based on the rarity. Like, I like that it's scaled up. Like, loot ghosts, boom, ectoplasm everywhere. Badass ghosts, you get more. Even regulars, you get 2. I mean, just the cycle of, okay, you're out of the event, now go harvest some more. It was always off-putting, because it was 25. You had to kill 25 ghosts to do it. It was too much for me, because I'm not, my time's limited now, too. Yeah, I'm not Farmer Jones anyway, but now I can be Farmer Jones because I'll just get the bling, I'll see the little check mark appear fast as lightning.
And you're in and out.
Fast as lightning, and I'll get back in,
And that's kind of how it should have been the whole time, I think, making sure that if you're wanting to do that and participate, it's easy. You're getting in, you're getting out. You can go in, you can go out, because it's a little time to get from the beginning of that little instance all the way to Captain Haunt. So it shouldn't be you're taking all this time to get to him. It was kind of like, holy cow, this is an event. Unless you're just farming for it and going into like the Circle of Slaughters or whatever and literally just smoking enemies until you got it and then jumping out and going and doing them.
Or another cool idea, how about having the ghosts in the event also drop the items you need for the event?
So
if
you
were
can build
going
towards
through,
the next one as you're doing.
So... yeah, when you pop out and you're like, Maurice, hey, I got stuff. It'll be like, oh, you have 13 already. Biggity boom.
That'd be even better. They did not do that, however. But
still, they did really good stuff.
Another cool thing they did was they're reducing the amount of tear items that are dropping and then starting to cycle back in the normal attributes to your items and whatnot.
We got to specify that, though, because they're increasing the terror items from enemies in the Bloody Harvest event and reducing the terror items from normal enemies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's what they're doing because, of course, it's going to be coming to a close in a couple weeks, and they understand that afterwards that the terror part's going to be useless. So people want the normal stuff.
Unless you get that terror those guns that give you terror, and then you can swap to your terror guns to do
which do more
stuff.
damage. Yeah, the ones that are
so you can still load yourself up like we were talking about last week with
which
cool
is
stuff
why it's usable
stacks
forever.
and packs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that perfect build that allows you to create your own tear, then use the tear to get better crit or whatever it is, sweet, cool for you, great for you. But obviously, those who are just casually playing and just want to start getting the normal attributes again, that's what they're trying to accomplish there. But if you're farming for the tear builds, there's still a means and a ways to do that.
Yep.
Very cool. Very smart. Appreciate that, Gearbox. You guys the best.
100%. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for the hot fixes. There's stuff they fixed for like different crashes, like quests that get hung up and all that other stuff. And you know the deal. You know the drill. If you want to know more, go check it out yourselves. I've never had any crashing issues. Everything's great for me. My life is awesome.
Indeed, Mr. Matt. I don't have crashes either. My life is great and awesome as well.
And you know who else's life is great and awesome? Those people over there at Gearbox Publishing. Because, hey, we got,
What?
I think it was two, maybe even actually 3 announcements. Because we got the first one that I saw was, hey, Gearbox Publishing is bringing World of Warships, Legends, Firepower, Deluxe Edition, physically on November 15th, which is actually coming right up around the corner.
PS4, Xbox One, PC. Right around the corner. I was surprised it was that quick, you know. I thought they'd give it a little bit more time, but boom, if that's what you're into and you want to go in there and play some multiplayer, crazy, cool ship, freaking war craziness, hey, Gearbox Publishing is making that possible if you want the physical editions.
And you know what? My uncle should get that. I know he plays the world of games. He should get that and send it to me. If there's crossplay, then I can play it with him. Boom.
That'd be awesome. And he listens, so you know what? He'll hear this, and then boom, in the mail, you're going to get a copy.
Merry Christmas to me. And also, hey, while I'm there saying, hey, load up this for Christmas, another game that's coming out in a physical edition from Gearbox Publishing, or at least associated with Gearbox Publishing, you know the deal. On the same date, November 15th, Risk of Rain 2 physical edition's coming out. So that's, I mean, has it been officially launched yet, or is this like the official launch of it?
That's a good question.
So I know it was in an early access for a long time, but
I think this is the official launch, right? Because I thought it was early access up to this point.
I just don't know if it went to 1.0 like a month ago, and we haven't had our hands on it, so we weren't sure. But
well, I don't know. All I know.
Well, regardless, the
physical editions are going to hit that same day, November 15th. So if you haven't already purchased digitally, you're not already sinking your teeth into it. I hear nothing but good about it. This is one of those ones, as we always said, wanted to get into, would like to try out and play. So much going on, so much to do, so many crazy games out there. I'm a working man, family man. There's only so much I could play.
Now, there's another one that was, I don't know if it's been any updates to it, but we know we talked about Gearbox publishing Astroneer, that little, like, the Spaceman game that we weren't sure what the exact play was. And I only heard about this from Saved You a Click Video Games, which is it shows you the clickbait article and then it tells you the context on Twitter. And it was like, hey, Gearbox Publishing is will be releasing 3 cool games coming up. And Astroneer was in their recap of the article. Astroneer is coming out on the 15th as well. For definitely on PS4. Well, I think it's been out on PC, but it's launching on PS4 digital and physical editions. So another Gearbox Publishing physical edition. You can get your hands on, generic tag. I know you love the physical media. Get it. You got to get it. It's Gearbox. It's physical. You got to buy it right now.
And it's
go get
super
it.
trippy, super spacey. Do it. All right.
So a 3-pack on the 15th of November. Save your shekels. Spend your ducats. Support Gearbox Publishing with their physical releases, man.
I agree with that. If you like what Gearbox is doing, Gearbox Publishing in specific, they've got all sorts of cool stuff happening. If you like the physical copies, they've got it done for you. Go get them. Go pick them up. Check them out. Have a great time with them. So far, all their cool little titles they've been throwing out there have been fun in some way or another. Goodness gracious. What a great job. It's awesome to see them moving forward with that publishing, as we've said 1,000 million times.
And then I'm just going to say, I'll get on my little soapbox here and say, since we're talking about Gearbox Publishing and things that are awesome and great, where's my user research team, people? Where you at?
Where are they at?
Where's your latest report? Where's your presentation?
I thought they'd keep coming back with like the stuff that they're messing with and telling us all about it.
I gotta know. You can't. You put the hook in my lip. You gotta reel me in. You can't just leave me sitting here.
I suspect they're working on their next. Because see, a lot of the deals coming through have been these physical editions, things like that, and that requires a lot of people and a lot of moving parts. But it doesn't require them. I think they're working on whatever that super secret big project is that publishing's got going. Something along those lines. I think they're in there playing the game hardcore, testing it, making it better, and they can't, of course, talk about it yet.
Well, plus, if we're talking about all these hotfixes every week for Borderlands 3, you know your user research team has got to be looking at the statistics and breaking them down and using charts and graphs and line data. You got to let me know what's happening. What are they looking at? I got to know.
We do got to know.
Give it to me. You
can't just go away like this. You're breaking our hearts. You're leaving a void.
I followed one of the user research, like the lead of the user research team, and he hasn't tweeted since like 2014. But I was going through my follows and I went, this dude, click. Oh, he still hasn't. But and then it broke my heart all over again. 'Cause I saw lead of Gearbox user research team, and I went, "Oh, where you at?
Where you guys at?
Where you at?
Come on back to us." Someday, everybody. Someday they'll be back. But until that day, that is it for Gearbox News this week. It was a little bit short, but we knew it was going to be short, and we wanted to tell you all about our wonderful adventures at the con this past weekend. So if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Too bad for you. We loved it. We had a great time, and we're going to talk about it because it's our show, and that's what we wanted to do.
And it has to do with the show.
It does.
Because we talked about the show with people who've been on the show and people who'll be on the show in the future.
Beautiful. It's all done, all there. And that's it, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for the week. We've got the closings, all the things. You know, here we go. You know what to do.
So tell us how much you loved or hated our con stories, our con experience. Email us info@thirdshift.me. Tweet at us @thirdshiftme. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. That's how you do it. I was going to roll into something else, and I totally blanked on what it would be.
Doesn't matter.
That's how you do it.
That is how you do it. You can also do it in different ways, like going over to Patreon, throwing us a buck or two. You like what you hear, like what we're swinging? Hey, we treat it just like a tip jar. Consider throwing us $2, $3, $5, coveted $1 million. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. We appreciate it so very, very much. Helps us keep the lights on. We'll open up a food line if that one individual opens up that $1 million donation, and we're gonna have babies in jars, a whole
we will.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we
it's
will.
coming. It's coming.
Yeah, we will.
It's coming.
Yes, it's coming.
Oh,
it's coming tomorrow. Get my baby in a jar.
Next week's gonna be insane. It's gonna be the best. It's finally coming, everybody. The world is changing. We'll also have a whole aisle for cold cocks patented coming up. You know, if you don't know what that is, go check out our old episode, Cold Cocks. Brilliant idea. It's going to be great. We're going to have mascots running around. We're going to have Youmacon fish. It's going to be fantastic. There's a lot of things happening. This food line is going to be the best food line you've ever seen. That's
why it will be the food line.
Exactly. And not a food line, okay? If you cannot throw us $1 or $2 to help that dream come true, hey, that's okay. We understand. You got to pay bills. Christmas is coming. Black Friday's coming. Y'all got to be ravenous animals and run out there and eat each other's souls for $5 off whatever movie or whatever it is you're looking for. I get it. I totally get it. I've been there myself. You can support us in so many other ways, like mailbag questions, feedback, positive or negative. Prefer the positive. You know, we get enough negative feedback in regular life. Just don't need it in the show, too. So
that's true. I talked about it on this episode.
So positive feedback mostly, or constructive criticism at the worst. All other forms, five-star ratings, likes on the Facebooks, all those things. You guys know the drill by now. We support you. You support us. We keep moving. We keep pushing forward. We love you all. Take care. Da-da-da-da-da, bing, bang, bong.
Absolutely. I just want to reiterate, positive feedback, send it to all the official channels. Negative feedback, send that to @Usako84. Just send it directly to her. That's all you need to do. I don't need to see it. She can handle all that stuff. That's how we do it. But of course, this podcast drops every Friday, so we'll be back in your ear holes on the 15th of November for our very next episode. And you can find that episode. You can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, review, a comment, and subscription. Any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. I don't know why I went into this voice, but that's how we're closing the episode out there.
Like that's what we're doing. Hey, and guess what, boys and girls? I do got us an old 5-star story, but that story ain't getting told tonight because we done run our dang old mouths too dang long. So I'm gonna run this line 40 yards out and just keep on reeling, because I got time on my hands, and I ain't telling you to tell. No, I ain't. So I got nothing left to say today. But
wait. I gotta say, I appreciate how I got the fishing metaphor in earlier with the hook in my lip, and you just continuing it up and all real good. It's like we're show partners in the show, but doing 167 episodes together.
God bless it. There ain't nothing else to say though, man. We gotta get on out of here. It's too dang late tonight. You gotta say one word.
I tell you, boy, don't you forget to say, boy.
You gotta give me some of that old gin and tucky.
Shut up and sit down.